This is lesson 3-0 notes, solving two-step equations review. As always, we're starting with vocabulary. So a term is a number, a variable, or the product of a number and one or more variables separated by addition or subtraction signs. A constant is a fixed value, a number that is not being multiplied by a variable. Variable term is a term that includes a variable. The distributed property. It's a property when we use when a number or variable is directly outside a pair of parentheses. That number or variable is then distributed to all the terms inside the parentheses. All right, so for our term, we had 2x plus 3 plus y. 3 would be the only constant here, but 2x, 3, and y are all terms. 2x and y would be considered variable terms because they are terms that include a variable. The distributive property we use if we see something like this, 3 times x plus 2. We cannot simplify what is inside the parentheses if we do not know the value of x, but we can simplify this as a whole. This is just saying 3 times whatever x plus 2 equals. All right, so because 3 is being multiplied by this entire set of parentheses, what we would do is distribute that 3 to everything inside the parentheses. It would be 3 times x, which is 3x, and 3 times 2, which is 6. All right, so these are our steps for solving any linear equation. It could be a two-step equation, it could be a multi-step equation. All right, step 1 is always to check for parentheses and simplify using the distributive property. Step 2 is to combine any like terms using addition or subtraction on each side of the equation. Step 3 is to move all variable terms to one side of the equation and all constants to the other side of the equation. And step 4 is to isolate the variable by undoing the mathematical operations that are left. So if we look at this example, step 1, there are no parentheses, so we skip that step. Step 2, combine any like terms. We will look at one side of the equation at a time. So I'm looking at the 2x minus 3. I cannot combine those two terms because they are not like terms. One has an x attached to it and one does not. All right, so then I look at the other side. Okay, there's only one term there. I cannot combine one term with anything if it is only one term. All right, so then I move on to step 3. Move all variable terms to one side of the equation and all constants to the other side. So our variable term is 2x. It's already on the left side of the equation, so what we're going to do is put our constants together. Our constants would be this 3 that's being subtracted and this negative 7. If the variable is already on the left side, then we move the constants to the right side. So to get rid of a minus 3, I use inverse operations. I would add 3 to both sides. Okay, a negative 3 and a positive 3 would cancel out, and that completely disappears. It is 0. So all that I'm left with on the left side of the equation is that 2x. I would bring it down. Always keep your equal sign in line. Right, that's like the balancing beam part of the equation. Negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4. Okay, and then last step, isolate the variable. 2 is being multiplied by x. The opposite of multiplication is division. So if I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other side, and I divide by 2 on both sides. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2x divided by 2 would be 1x, but we do not have to put the 1 there. It stays invisible. I'm going to bring down my equal sign. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Now we do not make you check your equations, but you always can, so I'm going to rewrite the equation. Okay. If the value of x is negative 2, then I erase the x. I replace it with a negative 2. And then I simplify to make sure that this side equals negative 7. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. That means that we did this problem correctly. That's our checked solution, but our solution is x equals negative 2. That is our one answer. This is the exception to the rule. When an entire sum or difference is being divided, you must undo that division first. So if I had something like this, let's pretend that the 3 is not there. Okay, that's not the exception. X is being divided by 2. The opposite of dividing by 2 would be to multiply by 2. And if I do that on one side, I do that on the other side. They'll cancel here, and x would equal 20. This is not the same thing. All right, it says when an entire sum or difference is being divided. So an entire sum, a sum would look like this. X plus 2, x plus 7. It could be 2x plus 3. Okay. A difference would look like this. X minus 2, x minus 7, 2x minus 3. If you see something like this, where there is either a sum or a difference in the numerator, we have to get rid of whatever is in the denominator first. Because x plus 3 is being divided by 2, the opposite of dividing by 2 is multiplying by 2. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. Okay? The division by 2 and the multiplication by 2 cancel out. X plus 3 comes down. Remember, keep your equal sign in line. 10 times 2 is 20. And then the last step, okay, 3 is being added to x, so I move all the variable terms to one side. It's already here. So I move the constants to the other side to get rid of a plus 3. I subtract by 3. And what I do to one side, I do to both sides. And this is going to be x equals 17. Alright, now some examples. Alright, number 1, we're just going to do some examples together. Negative 4n plus 2 equals 26. Right? 2 is being added here. I follow through my steps. Let me write these down. This is the shortened version of my steps. So step 1, distributive property. There are no parentheses, so I move on. Step 2, combine like terms. Okay, those are not like terms. And that there's only one term. So you can't have like terms if there's only one term. Step 3, constants on one side, variables on the other. Okay, the variables on the left side, so I'm going to get the constants over to the right side. The opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. What I do to one side, I do to both sides. Negative 4m comes down. My equal sign comes down. 26 minus 2 is 24. And then negative 4 is being multiplied by m. Okay, and then that equals 24. Step 4, isolate the variable. To get m by itself, I have to undo this multiplication. So I divide, because that is the opposite of multiplication. I divide by whatever the variable is being multiplied by. Okay, this cancels. It's 1. 1m is the same as just m. 24 divided by negative 4 is negative 6. So that is our answer. Okay, number 2. 5 equals y divided by 2 minus 3. Skip the first step. There are no parentheses. Combine like terms. I cannot. On the left side, there's just a 5. On the right side, this term has a y, and this is our constant. I cannot combine those terms. So I start by getting our constants and variables on the same side. The variable is already on the right side, so I'm going to move this constant over to the left. So the opposite of minus 3 is plus 3. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. Minus 3 plus 3 is 0. 5 plus 3 is 8. Bring down my y divided by 2. And then the opposite of dividing by 2 is multiplying by 2. Okay, step 4, isolate the variable. So times 2 on both sides. Division by 2 and multiplication by 2 cancel. Y is on the right side. 2 times 8 is 16. And this would be my answer. But because we read it as the variable first, when you get to your final answer, you can absolutely flip them. So we can put y on the left side and 16 on the right side. Alright, number 3. Number 3 does have parentheses, so we do have to do step 1, the distributive property. Whatever is being multiplied by the parentheses, I distribute to everything inside the parentheses. And I do this because I cannot add together x plus 4 if I do not know what the value of x is. Alright, so starting here, negative 3 times x is just negative 3x. Negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12. Notice I didn't write anything here yet. I didn't put a sign there. Okay, because whatever my sign is what I get when I do this multiplication. Because negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12, that becomes a minus 12. Okay, I'm going to bring down my equal sign and rewrite negative 12. All right, remember that adding a negative is the same as subtraction. Okay? All right, now to solve. Step 2, I cannot combine like terms because those are not like terms, and there's only one term on the right. So step 3, move my constants and variables. The variable is already on the left, so I move this constant to the right side. To get rid of a minus 12, I add 12. What I do on one side, I do on the other side. Okay, minus 12 and plus 12 cancel out. I'm going to bring down my equal sign. On the left, I just have negative 3x. And on the right, negative 12 plus 12 also cancel out. On the left side, when they canceled out, we say they cancel out because we get 0. We do not have to write negative 3x plus 0. But if everything cancels out on one side of the equation and there's nothing left, we do have to write that placeholder, that 0. That way we have a number to work with. Now, that's fine. Negative 3 is being multiplied by x, so to isolate the variable, and the opposite of multiplication would be division. Divide by negative 3 on both sides. 0 divided by negative 3 is 0, so x equals 0. Okay, moving on to number 4. All right, step 1, no parentheses. Step 2, there are not like terms on either side because we cannot combine an a with a constant. So step 3, constants and variables. Our variable is already on the left side, so we need to move this 16 to the right side. The way that we move it, if it's a positive 16, I just have to take it away. The opposite of a positive 16 is a negative 16. That's another way to look at it. If I subtract 16 on the left, I subtract 16 on the right. 16 minus 16 cancels out. I'm left with negative 3a equals 27. 43 minus 16 is 27. My last step, negative 3 is being multiplied by a, so to isolate the variable, opposite of multiplication is division. We divide by whatever the variable is being multiplied by. So it's a negative 3. You have to pay attention that 3a, because it is being subtracted, it does come down. That negative sign stays with it. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. 1a is just a. And 27 divided by negative 3 is negative 9. Okay. Number 5. This is our exception. Give me a second. I'm going to rewrite it. So n minus 2 divided by 4 equals 6. Remember that when you have an entire sum or difference, this would be a difference because something is being subtracted here. And there are two terms. Okay, whenever we have two terms in the numerator, we have to get rid of this division first. So the dividing by 4, the opposite of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. The multiplication by 4 and the division by 4 cancel. I'm going to bring down what's in the numerator, so n minus 2. Bring down my equal sign. 6 times 4 is 24. And from there, 2 is being subtracted from n. I need to get my constants on the same side. Since the variable is on the left, we'll get rid of that minus 2 by adding 2. And n equals 26. Remember, you can go back and check your answer if I plug in a 26 for n. 26 minus 2 is 24. 24 divided by 4 is 6. All right, let's look at number 6. Number 6. 5 minus 2/3 x equals 3. All right, again, the distributive property I do not have to do because there are no parentheses. Combining like terms, I cannot combine those terms, and I cannot combine a 3 with itself. All right, so I've got to get my constants on the same side. Variable is already on the left. That means I need to get rid of the 5 and move it to the right. The way that I do that, it's a positive 5, so taking it away. And the way I move it is because what I do to one side, I do to the other side. 5 minus 5 is 0. I bring down that negative sign with the 2/3. So negative 2/3 x is all that's left here. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Now, negative 2/3 x, okay, that's multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. But we are not going to write it like this. Okay, we are going to use keep, change, flip that you learned last year, also called multiplying by the reciprocal. So we keep the first fraction, we change the division to multiplication, and we flip the second fraction. So that negative 2/3 is going to become negative 3/2. It stays negative though. Okay, and if I multiply this side by negative 3/2, I multiply this side by negative 3/2. Okay, what happens over here? A negative times a negative is a positive. Our 3's cancel and our 2's cancel, leaving us with just positive 1x. Okay, negative 2 times negative 3/2. A negative times a negative is a positive. The 2's here will end up canceling out as well, and we'll just have a positive 3. Number 7. Again, this is our exception because there's an entire difference in the numerator. So I'm going to rewrite this. 3 minus x divided by 2 equals 7. Okay, and then remember, we have to get rid of that division before we can solve for x. So this side is being divided by 2. To get rid of that, I'm going to multiply by 2. But if I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other side. The 2's cancel. I'm left with 3 minus x on the left side. And 7 times 2 is 14. All right? Oh, just a sec. Okay. From here, I need to get the x by itself, so I need to get rid of that positive 3 by taking it away. 3 minus 3 is 0. 14 minus 3 is 11. Bring down my equal sign. Keep it where it's at. Now this x was being subtracted. Now it becomes the negative x because there's nothing in front of it anymore. Right? The quick way to do this, okay, is if we change the signs on one side, we change the signs on the other side. So our answer is x equals negative 11. The mathematical way of doing that is either dividing both sides by negative 1 because there's an invisible coefficient of 1 here, or if we multiply both sides by negative 1, okay, 11 times negative 1 is negative 11. Negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1, leaving us with x equals negative 11. That means that if your answer is something like this, negative x equals negative 2, okay, we could either divide or multiply both sides by negative 1, or the shortcut, if we change the signs on one side, we have to change the signs on the other side. So negative x equals negative 2 is the same as x equals 2. Number 8. There are parentheses, so we have to use the distributive property to get rid of them. I cannot subtract 3 from s, so I'm going to have to take this 4, and I'm going to have to distribute it. 4 times s is just 4s, but 4 times a negative 3 is a negative 12. Bring down my 20, my equals. And from here, I get my constants and variables. Well, constants on one side, variables on the other. So the 4s is already on the left side, so I'll get rid of this minus 12 by adding 12 to both sides. 4s equals 20 plus 12 is 32. And 4 is being multiplied by s to isolate the variable. We undo that multiplication by dividing. What I do on one side, I do on the other side. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 1s is just s. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Okay. Last problem. No parentheses, so I don't have to distribute. Cannot combine like terms. There are no like terms on both sides or on either side. Okay, but on step 3, constants and variables. Variables already on the left, so we move our constants to the right. Minus 8 becomes plus 8. If we add 8 on one side, we add 8 on the other side. That gives us a 2p equals negative 82 plus 8 is negative 74. Okay, and then my last step, 2 is being multiplied by p. I undo multiplication by dividing. And p equals negative 37. That is the end of the lesson 3-0 notes.